What a beautiful spring day. Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. I've been checking off the boxes of the annual spring to-do list, and this year, I think I'm ahead of the game. The compost pile is gone, spread out on the fields. Check. Both manure spreaders are cleaned and put away for the season. I even put a permanent rope on this manure spreader. I cleaned out the heifer pen here in the barn. It's important to have it nice and flat and clean for when we load in and load out steers and heifers to go to the butcher for the summer. I've moved all the manure I'm going to move this spring. It's all in a pile right here to compost for a year. We won't be cleaning anything else out until the chicken house in August or September before the chickens move back in. Hillary and I will tarp this and weight it down and let it cook for the summer. Cattle are hanging out on the hill. They've been messing around a lot this morning because one of the cull heifers is in heat. The bulls can smell it too. The 656 is clean, pressure washed off. Nice. I got some work to do on it today. The garden gate is repaired, resealed. And I must say, the garden is looking awesome. I've gone over this patch with the rototiller a bunch of times, tilled it up real good, put a liberal dose of compost in here, mixed it in. Looks great. In the raised beds, radishes, arugula, and mesclun mixes sprouted, and I bought some romaine seedlings to get an early harvest. There they are, little radishes, little arugula. We had 2 hard frosts last week where it got down to about 25 degrees. The first night I didn't cover these. The second night I did. The nice thing about planting greens early is they can tolerate some of that. They're doing just fine after the frost. I have pole beans and cucumbers planted in the house to germinate, to get an early start on those because they ever bear. They keep producing, so we want to start their production as soon as possible. I'll wind up buying some other seedlings that are early start like tomatoes and peppers, and then direct planting things like squash and pumpkins and a bunch of other things. The second batch of broiler chicks came last week, so now we've got both brooder boxes running. These guys will be going out in a week if the weather cooperates, and then these guys 3 weeks, and this will have another batch coming in 2 weeks, and on we go back and forth. Just to show how fast Cornish cross grow, these guys are 4 days old. And these guys are 18 days old. They're in their voracious eating phase. And that voracious eating phase will last the rest of their life, the next 5 weeks or so until we butcher them and sell them at market. As for pigs, we will be raising pigs this summer. I'm starting to look for feeder pigs, and I think we're going to run someplace between 4 or 7 through this lot and that next lot over there. Lots of good stuff for them to dig up and range in the summertime. Aside from show and tell, I got a couple other things to take you through on this video. The first is I got to do a little maintenance work on the 656, and the second is we got to move the cattle, which is always fun. When I was doing manure, I noticed that some plastic twine got wrapped in the inside of this hub. I guess it's an occupational hazard, but it made me remember I need to repack these wheel bearings. It's been a while. Well, that one came off easy. We got to have her all ready for hay season, you know. Every farmer should know how to repack a wheel bearing because it's a task that needs to be performed once in a while to keep your tractor healthy. Well, get out of there. Twine. Yeah, that's from our farm. It's orange. We'll give this a good washing and part solvent. Take all the dirt out of here. This is the wheel seal here. It's just 3, maybe 2 rubber lips that ride on a surface inside the hub. I'm not replacing those, but let's clean them out good. And I'm going to do the same to this hub that I pulled off. These have grease fittings on the hub, so they accumulate grease. I'm going to clean all that out of there, get a fresh batch in. This tractor could use a new set of front tires. I've never put tires on it at all. She just does all the hard work and keeps running. With a little maintenance. What is that stuff? I don't know. It's been there forever. Petrified grease. The next step is to clean down the bearings. Get them nice and spotless. Get all the old grease and gunk out of them. This cap has a few issues. Looks like I might have run into something with it. Much better. The bearings look fine. You know, you run them around, feel for rough spots, check for galling, all that kind of stuff. I repacked them. There's a bunch of different ways to repack wheel bearings. I like to make it into an art project, a little finger painting. Move up the seal a little bit so it doesn't run dry. As far as type of grease, well, it really doesn't matter that much on an old tractor. It's more important that it gets grease rather than type of grease. This is lithium grease. Lube up the races too. Of course, you want to check the races and make sure that they're shiny and smooth and don't have scoring or galling or any of that stuff in it as well. This is the area the seal rides in, so we grease that up as well as the race, which is down here. Get on there. Yo. Tighten her down. Too tight, it's the feel thing. You always back it off a little bit after tightening it down. And look for the hole for the cotter pin. Where'd you go? Where are you? Oh, you know, the things I have to go through. There you are. 'Tis good. My gloves are in pretty good shape. That'll last a couple more years, I would think, with a little bit of care. There. Just for good measure. Besides, it gives me another chance to do some finger painting. I've taken to cleaning surfaces before I put on gaskets or otherwise with lacquer thinner, just so you get a grease-free surface, especially since these tires run in manure and all kinds of stuff. I want a good seal. Lacquer thinner is a good degreaser. I don't put new paper gaskets on these because they go off and on so much. It just doesn't seem like a necessary thing. I use Wright stuff, Permatex Wright stuff on it. Makes a really good seal. Really, for a tractor that's in heavy use, you should be doing this once a year. So they're going on and off. Other side. Seems like spring is the busiest time of the year for us. And it's completely different from the busyness of the summer, because in spring we're trying to get things done that we just won't have time for in the summer. So the summer is characterized by, got to get this done now. The hay's ready. I got a window. Chicken's got to be butchered. Cattle got to be brought to the butcher. Cattle need to move, etc., that day. But in spring, we're trying to get all the things done in preparation, get that list through. So spring preparations are things like getting equipment ready, getting the garden ready, cleaning up the yard, We have a lot of yard work this year. All the stuff that you know you won't get to once the busy season starts. It's the busy season before the busy season, I guess. Bearings on this side look fine too. These are Bauer bearings. The other side had Timkins on it. Sometime in the past, one side or the other has been replaced, or maybe both with different brand bearings. I don't know. Oh, I gotta do some greasing. Why should you never, ever, under any circumstances, throw your grandpa's false teeth at a car? I'll let you think about that one. It's certainly a mean thing to do, and Grandpa would not be very happy, but chances are you can run faster than Grandpa. Did I draw that out long enough for you? I could go further. There's lots I could say about Grandpa's false teeth, but I will say that the reason you shouldn't throw his false teeth at a car is because you might dent your vehicle. How can a joke be bad and require thought to figure out at the same time? I'm out to answer that question. Okay, I got one more quick job before we go out and see the cattle, and that's this thing. This hose right here. This is my Junker Spare Parts 656, and fortunately it has the part that I need. Oh, what size is that? Not that size. Just to give you the lay of the land here, this big fat hose here comes out of the hydraulic pump, which is right behind this plate, and supplies pressurized oil up to the flow divider here, which prioritizes steering over remote hydraulics from that hydraulic pump, and then on into the pilot valve for the steering unit, which piggybacks on top of it. It's an important line. Uh-oh. Hopefully there won't be very much. Need control fluid. Uh-huh. I want to close these holes up so critters can't get in them. Because who knows, there might be something I want later on back in there. Like a hydraulic pump. Put that one on there. Here's the deal. The line on this tractor has got a rub spot on it, and it started to ooze. I noticed that when I was cleaning the tractor. Not good for a main hydraulic supply line. This is the same line, but it's no good either. This rubber's all dry rot. It's been sitting out in the weather forever. I wouldn't trust it. There's a place in Wisconsin that I can send this to, and they have the tooling to take this apart off the metal ends. That's what makes it complicated, is it's got these pipe ends on it, and they can recrimp a new hose on it. So I'm sending it off to them, and 2 or 3 weeks from now I'll have a new hose on the existing metal, and the metal's in fine shape. It's got a little surface rust on it, but that's no problem. And then I can take that one off and put this one on with no interruption in usability of the 656. It'll just ooze until then. Hopefully not blow. I don't have a lot of use for it in the next 3 weeks until hay season anyway. There's something else you can do, and this is what I did here. Instead of getting this remade, when this line blew, I tapped this out to pipe thread. I took the metal end off because it had a similar kind of line on it originally. Took the metal end off, tapped it to pipe threads, and then just got a hydraulic line, a regular hydraulic fitting in line to fit it. But instead of screwing around with that, I decided I'll get this one done right. It's 75 degrees out and 75% humidity. It's kind of sticky. What happened to spring? We went straight to summer. Howdy, Patricia. Cows, looks like I need to get your back rub up pretty soon. I guess the flies have woken up for the season. You guys have been grumbling at me all day. You want new grass? They're non-committal. Come on, cows. New grass, Patty, let's go. Sometimes if I just start walking, they'll follow me. Not following me yet. I'm beginning to see some interest. Come on, cows. Let's head them out. Where's your vigor, guys? It's spring. Grass. Come on, cows. I'm going to eat all the grass myself if you don't get here pretty soon. They're slowly coming. Look at how big Tulip is. You're going to have a calf soon, lady. You are. Yep. Yeah. I'll take care of those flies. Let's go. Back to the summer routine. We're going right down this laneway to the bottom field. You guys got the idea now. You're goofy. Those flies woke up in a hurry, didn't they? Tomorrow I'll put up the back rub. All right, you guys. Oh, you can go ahead. Can you let me move the wires so you guys don't catch it? Oh my gosh. Jeez. Cows are fat, but Patty, she is the fattest of them all. She don't like that. We got a few stragglers coming in. She's in heat. They've been messing with her all morning. She's a cull heifer, and when a female is in heat, they will either be ridden or they will ride to show that they're in heat. She's the one, plus another one that's around here someplace. They're both in heat today. What's growing in the pasture? Well, of course, orchard grass is the thing that shoots up first, but I'm starting to see quite a bit of alfalfa, and quite a bit of clover coming up. Now, alfalfa particularly, once the weather starts to warm up like this, it really starts to shoot up, and that'll complement everything else that's growing in here. Orchard grass, timothy, perennial ryegrass, alfalfa, and white clover predominantly. Some little red clover as well. Just beautiful green grass and cattle. Polly Walnuts, how are ya? Give me the tongue. Yeah. The grass is growing well. It likes this weather. We've had quite a bit of moisture, rain, and with the temperatures kind of moderating from 40, 50 degrees to 70, grass likes that kind of weather. And we're seeing the first blush of foliage on the trees. Usually the first week of May is when I think of the trees starting to leaf out. It's nice to see everything waking back up again, and it is just beautiful out here. That steer thinks he's a bull, but he ain't gonna get very far. It's hot out there, but it's nice and cool in here in the shop. I have a few channel announcements to close out this video. The first is I won't be at the Ithaca Farmers Market on Saturday, May 4th. My dad and me and Henry are all going to the Whitney Point consignment auction, that big giant auction with 3 auctioneers running all day this Saturday. And if you happen to be going, please come up and say hi. I'll be wandering around in the crowd, and I absolutely love to meet viewers at events like that. The second thing is that folks have been asking about this, the Farmall 856 that I got all torn down in here. It's all ready to prime and paint, but it's on hold because I'm just too busy with stuff outside. This sort of work is what happens when the weather is not so nice. What'll probably happen is it'll sit until after first cutting hay, whenever that is, early June, and then hopefully when the weather's warm out, I'll get around to painting this, and I'll kind of piddle along on it through the summer. Winter's really the time that I do this sort of work. Related to that, I have this, which I'm awful proud of. A new t-shirt on our merchandise website, International Muscle, with the Farmall 856 on it. I love muscle tractors, those late 60s, early 70s, like this lady is an example of. Farm Focused is a small family-owned company in Omaha, Nebraska, and to me it's important to send my business to other small companies like our farm. They print the shirts right there. They're top quality products. I'm proud to be affiliated with them. So if you have a chance, the link to the web page is right down below the video. You can go and take a look at them. I don't hawk merchandise very much, but when we have something like this, I think it's important to let people know about it. Anyway, that's my video for today. Summer's here. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.